You know what's really funny is like when we took a break before we went to go record this podcast, I forgot to stop recording and I went to the bathroom and I left my mic on.
No,
Dude, it was so bad.
dude.
I mean, not that, but I was like, was I still recording? Oh damn, I was still recording.
Dude, that is amazing.
Initiating hyperspace launch sequence. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the Origin Story series for our new podcast, which remains unnamed. I'm assuming by the time it comes out, it'll be named, right, Christian? Don't you think so? Probably.
I hope so. I was debating on the Daniel and Christian show, which sounds a little generic.
Yeah.
Or the Weeping Octopus.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, funny story. You know, you were talking about in your origin story how a guy named Squid.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So when I was in a band, the week before we were supposed to perform our first gig, we didn't have a name yet. So
No way.
the manager, the guy that like owned the building we were practicing, he was like, "All right, guys, you're gonna be on the bill. We need a name." And we were like, "We don't have one." And he's like, "Okay, well, you're the third band that practices, so you're either gonna be band 3 or the Weeping Octopus."
What the frick? That's just where his head went immediately?
Yeah,
Just
I
the
don't know
Weeping-
how. I don't
Dude,
know why.
That
I
is
think maybe
awesome.
Maybe he knew that we were going to be connected down the road, and Squid and Octopus, they're kind of like the same thing.
Dude, totally. Well, that is the greatest introduction to this podcast. I could not have written a better one myself. My name is Daniel Sherman. I'm your co-host today, and I'm here with
Mr. Christian Carranza.
Christian Carranza. Christian, cue the trumpet noise. Can you tell me to cue it?
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
Well, I mean, either way, I guess, but I'm not going to ever just do it on my own. I need someone to hit the button. You know what I mean?
Cue the trumpet noise.
Yo, welcome to
There
episode
it is.
2. Welcome to
That
episode
is the
2.
one. Man, people if they haven't unsubscribed from the last one because of that, I'm sure by this time they probably will.
You know,
Either
if
that or
anything-
the country.
If anything, that should get us more people.
I agree with you.
You
I
know?
agree with you. If you stuck around this long, thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty rad of you. I mean, I realize though, you know what's cool about what we're doing too is that we both, we've had a lot of crossover between us because we've worked together so many times, but you're going to bring people, and I'm going to bring people, and those people might not overlap. So this might be some people's episode 1. So that might have been the first time they heard it. They might be deciding whether or not they can deal with more of that right now. You know what I mean?
For the love of God, please, I beg you to stick around. I will bake you cookies,
Oh,
please.
Can
I will
I-
send them to your house.
can I get in on some of that?
You cannot because you are part of the group.
Dang it.
This is for the members only.
Frick. Well, Christian, I'm super excited for this episode for 2 reasons. One, because I realized I know dang near nothing freaking about your story, which is really cool. Actually, I've heard bits and pieces, but it's never been like a systematic, chronological, tell me about your freaking life thing. But 2, I'm really excited because seconds before we hit the record button, you were like, dude, I hate talking about myself. And I get to listen to you experience the torture of only doing that for the next however long this video / podcast is. And the criminal in me is very excited to push you outside your comfort zone like that.
Yeah, I'm really, I'm really nervous at the moment. Only because I remember when I used to make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I would stutter so much, and it bugged the crap out of me. So I learned how to re-speak and kind of pronounce my words the right way and slow down. So I'm definitely a little excited, a little nervous, but I'm excited to see where you take this thing and steer it.
Yeah. Really, I want to ask you, I think most people, you're a lot of things as well. The last podcast, you started by naming all the things I am. I really want to know though, you did music really early on, right? Isn't that kind of where your story began a little bit with a lot of this stuff. Where would you? Let me ask this: where would you say your story started, and how does that tie into the video, the music, and the visionary that is who you are?
Oh man, I don't know if I can live up to that, but I'm just like
No.
hyperventilating. So dang, like I've never actually told this story like full on either, so I kind of don't know where to start. So I'm just gonna like start from that. But yeah, like my roots started in music, and literally as long as I can remember, I've been playing the guitar or like wanting to play music, even if it was like a stupid little paper guitar that had like strings on it. One thing I do remember vividly though was I don't even know how old I was, but there's a movie called Desperado by Robert Rodriguez, and I think it's Quentin Tarantino that directed it.
That sounds right. I think
Do
that
you know which
sounds
one I'm
right.
talking about?
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
sounds correct.
Yeah, so in the movie, the guy is like a mariachi, and I'm Mexican, so like mariachis are cool. And Antonio Banderas is a Mexican, obviously a Mexican. Yes, he's a Mexican. He's a mariachi. He's
Plot
a mariachi.
twist.
Plot twist. He's Asian.
It's like Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah, with Robert Downey
With
Jr.
RDJ. Oh man, sorry. Anyway.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good. That's why we do this. Yeah. So I remember seeing that movie. I don't know how old I was, but in the movie, he's a mariachi, and he has a guitar. But the guitar case, like the top of it, you'd have to watch the movie. The top of it is like a plastic guitar, but you can flip it open, and there's like guns in there, and like the guitar case was a gun. I don't know if you remember that. It was like the cheesiest thing ever.
That's sick.
In the movie, the very beginning, he's like playing guitar, and it's obviously like an acoustic guitar, and being like a mariachi, and that was the moment where I realized like I want to play guitar. And
Wow.
that's when my family, my mom, my stepdad would buy me like toy guitars and whatever, because I was a little kid and obviously couldn't play guitar. And fast forward, I remember I was probably like 8 or 9, maybe 10.
Okay.
And I remember, I don't know what I was watching, but it was a video of Kiss, the rock band Kiss, playing Rock and Roll All Night. And I remember seeing Ace Frehley, the guitar player from Kiss, on stage with smoke coming out of his guitar, just shredding. And I was like, I don't know what rock and roll is, but I want to do that. I want to do that. And that's kind of what started my whole journey with, the rock music and getting into all that stuff. So long story short, played guitar forever, since I was like probably like 9 or 10, even though it was probably like crappy guitar. So I played guitar.
Yeah.
All throughout high school and stuff. And to make this short, I'm gonna say we can talk about music on another one probably, but I remember being in high school, and we would go see the high school counselor to kind of like, set up our goals to like be successful or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What do you like to do?" The counselor asked me this, and I was like, honestly, I just want to play guitar and be in a band, and I don't really care if I make money or not. Like, I can live on the bus. I just want to play. And then she looked at me dead in the eyes, and she told me, "Well, you have to find something that makes money because you're not going to get anywhere with that."
Wow.
That was the moment where like it kind of started. Like, I've always, for the majority of my life, besides what I'm doing now as a business, I've always kind of had, since that moment, like one foot in, one foot out.
Yeah.
Like I would have goals to do whatever I wanted to do as a career, but I've always kind of had my foot in music. So it was like being on two platforms on water, and they're slowly moving away from each other. And eventually I just made the jump because I couldn't commit fully to music, which is why I admire your story. And that's why I told you in the previous podcast, I admire that you do that, because it only took I've never really had anybody look me in the eyes and tell me you suck. Like, if anything, me and my friends would bring our guitars and our amps to school, and we would plug in and just play.
Oh, that's cool.
Even though we probably annoyed everybody.
Dude, that's sick,
really
though.
Exist.
That is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Thank you.
That is wicked.
We would walk on campus full on like guitars and, our cheap Ibanez guitars that are not meant to be played without amplifiers. And we just walk around and play, and, during lunchtime, we just plug in the amps and just start jamming to Linkin Park or like Baltimore Valentine or
Dude.
Blink 182, whatever.
You were the coolest person in the world. That's
Dude,
what it sounds
didn't
like to me.
exist. I did not exist.
Well-
Me and my friend used to do stupid crap in school
Yeah.
because we knew that we couldn't get in trouble because it's like we didn't exist. It was kind of fun.
Sick. I will say though, I cannot imagine having an adult look you in the eyes and just crush a dream like that. That is unbelievable to me. Like that is like a grown adult, like the people that when you're not an adult that you look to for guidance is the person who looked you in the eyes and was like, yeah, that's not it, boss. Like I cannot imagine that. I think it's cool that you still have any attachment of music at all, because I feel like I would go from that and I would just nosedive and collapse. I think it's really cool.
Let me tell you this. So part of the reason why I'm like so invested in it now and like I pick up a guitar again, I have a drum set and like whatever, is because of you and UFN. You guys like are adults if you know.
I've finally been called an adult. I made it.
Mom, I made it.
You heard it here first.
You're like 20, right?
Yeah, almost 21.
Yeah, and it's cool to see people that are like, you guys showed me that it doesn't have to be something that you grow out of. It doesn't have to be like, oh, well, of course you wanted to be in a band when you were 16. You were 16, so did I. You guys showed me that. So part of the reason why I'm so, thank you. Part of the reason why I'm, so invested in it now, again, is because I found it again through you guys.
Man, that's so wicked. So here's a follow-up question. When did the visual side of art begin to grab you? Because most people, if they were to find you on Instagram, if they know you personally, music's definitely a part of who you are, for sure, as someone who knows you. But what you do and what your craft really is videography and photography. Mostly videography, correct? You would say?
That is correct. You're the first person that's acknowledged me for that.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people are like, you're a photographer, right? And I'm just like, do you know how much that hurts my feelings?
Oof.
Not to talk crap, but I'm just saying, I got into this for video.
Yeah, and I think it shows personally. And not that you're a bad photographer, you're a phenomenal photographer as well, but the amount of thought that I see when you dive into your video is unreal. But we'll get to that later. How did the visual side of art begin to grab you? And along the way, I really want to know what the first camera you ever either bought or were given and started doing stuff with was, because I feel like that's a great question to ask any photographer, videographer.
Perfect. So yeah, once my soul was crushed, and excuse me, I had to burp.
Soundbite. That's the intro.
That's the intro right there. This is how we do things, ladies and gentlemen, on the fly. So, damn, what was I saying again? You see?
When your dreams were crushed.
Thank you for the reminder, dude.
I got you, man.
I really needed that. Thank you. Yeah, so after that happened, she told me that, and then I kind of like I started seeing another counselor for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And the guy told me, he's like, yeah, well, you can't really make money from that. And the chances...
Hold on. Hit pause.
Pause.
You had two people tell you that back to back?
Yeah, but the second time didn't hurt as much.
Well, because here's the thing. If you're an ant and you get stepped on, the second step probably doesn't hurt as much because you're just jelly at that point anyway. I cannot believe you had two people kill that dream. That's unbelievable to me. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, he told me that, and I was already like, yeah, whatever. The other lady told me that, but what can I do with music?
Yeah.
And he was like, honestly, you could be a sound engineer, and you can mix and master songs and work on movies and scores, stuff like that. I was like, well, if I can't be in a band and play on stage, I guess I can record the people and learn how to mix and master, even though I wasn't really into that kind of stuff. So then I made it a goal to eventually graduate high school and go to college for sound engineering at San Francisco Art Institute or something like that.
I had no idea.
When the economy crashed in 2008, 2009, my mom didn't necessarily have a lot of money. My parents divorced. So there was no way I could get into that school at all.
Yeah.
So I had to find another, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get to music school? So throughout my high school journey, I took a class that was basically an easy A, kind of like you.
Yep.
Just because I didn't want to be there, and I just wanted to go skate and go play music with my friends. So
Because you were the coolest person in the world.
I'm glad you think that, because you know it's funny. It's like I didn't exist in high school. I wish I can, like, if I were ever to make a movie, actually, which I probably will, I want to like make something like that. It sounds very stereotypical, but you know, just like stupid high school stuff and nobody really knows you exist.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I walked onto school campus and I saw a dude skateboard up to class with like an amp and a guitar on his back and then he played it at lunch, I would literally want to be you so bad. like that is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Dude, and I had the hair and everything too. I had the whole emo flip going on.
Yes. Yeah. That is so cool. I think you were cool.
Thank you.
Frick those other people. I think you're wicked, man.
I had the same like 4 band shirts that I'd wear. I'd have like a Linkin Park one. I'd have like a Bullet for Valentine one, an AFI one, and like the same like 2 pairs of skinny jeans, a ripped big skate shoes. Yeah, I was that guy.
Those are essential, man. Essential.
So, man, where did we leave off?
You took an Easy A class.
Yeah, and that class happened to be welding.
Welding.
And I'm not gonna say the teacher's name because I don't want him to get in trouble. But everybody in school was like, "Yo, if you want Easy A, take this class. This guy does not give a crap if you're doing your work. You just get an A just for showing up." So I took it.
Whoa.
And it was welding. And after a while, I'm not gonna lie, I used to be pretty lazy as a kid in high school. I wish I tried harder, but unfortunately I did not, and I got really bad grades.
Same.
And that's another reason why we were late.
Oh yeah.
So I got bad grades in high school and, you know, an Easy A. All right, I'm cool with that. So I took that class, and the only thing I ever really put effort into was skateboarding and music. I don't care how cold it was, how hot it was. Me and my friends would skate for like, during summer break, all day. From like the moment we got up, which during summer vacation time is like 1 p.m. until like the sun went down.
Yeah, true.
Right? We would just skate and play music, and that's all I ever really cared about. But even though that class was an Easy A, after like legit 2 weeks of like just not doing anything with my friends and hanging out, I'm like, hey, you know, we're like here in welding class. We got all this cool equipment. I'm kind of bored of not doing anything. Can't really skate in here. And I mean, we can't play guitar, but you know, I'm interested with what this is over here. We might as well use it. So, and I've never been super handy. Like if you give me a desk to build from Walmart, it would take me a good 4 hours.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I started messing around with the welding equipment, and I was like, hey, it's pretty fun. You know, I feel like I'm being a man, you know, I'm handy, building stuff with my hands.
That's so true. I don't know why we feel that way, but anything like welding or like, I don't know, doing electrical stuff or working on a car, it's like, this is what a man is. It's so true.
Yeah, so it just made me feel so, I don't know, like productive. So I started doing it, and you know, my friends obviously didn't catch on, and I just kept doing it. And then my teacher eventually was like, hey, you're pretty good at that. And man, this can make me sound like I have daddy issues. So yeah, my teacher comes up to me and he's like, hey, you're pretty good at that. And I was like, really? Thank you. And you know, just that little confidence boost of like me trying something, and I thought it was kind of fun, and for somebody to come and be like, hey, you're pretty good at that.
Well, you know what? Let me just say too, you've had now 2 adults from your school crush your dreams and stomp on you, and you're now hearing an adult from the school tell you, hey, you have something. That would be a pretty big moment for me too. I think that's really cool that you have an adult investing in you. I think that's really sick.
I never thought about that. That's probably why. Just throw the daddy issue comment out the window. So yeah, we would be in class, and I just obviously spent all day welding. And you know, I did the beginner class, and then I would do the intermediate, and then I would go on to do the advanced one in high school, which you actually like you would leave the campus and go to like this big warehouse, and it had all this new equipment, because I went to Lathrop High, which was like new. We were the first class there. Yeah, we were the first class that fully went there 4 years. When I first started there, it was only like there was only the freshmen and what's the second one? The sophomores.
Sophomores, yeah.
So it was only us 2.
Interesting.
So, you know, as time progresses, you go and see the counselor and talk about your goals and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're like, oh, I see you're into welding. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it's pretty cool. And they would tell me, they would be like, oh, yeah, they make a lot of money. They're really successful. And I'm just like, really? And not that I want a lot of money, but I just thought, and anytime I'd be like with somebody, with a friend or with family members or whatever, and being a teenager, you don't really talk to your family that much. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm taking welding. They'd be like, oh, no way, they're super successful. They make a lot of good money. You can have a nice car, a nice house. Your wife will be taken care of. So because that was the image in my head of like what success was. Like my stepdad was a construction worker, and that was, he provided most of the income, and that was my image of what success was.
Yeah.
And that's why I just chose to kind of like, all right, I'll stick with this. A lot of people say you make good money, and in order to be successful, you have to make money, and you have to be able to provide all this and that, work a 9 to 5, whatever, right?
Yeah, that totally makes. I mean, I think a lot of people are told that growing up. Right now, what does everyone think? Like how life goes is you grow up, you go through school, you go to college, then you take that college education, you get a job, and then you work, and then you make a family, and then you die. Like that's what we're told we do.
And when people would tell me that, like it would be like the story lines up. You go to high school, you go to college, you get your degree, and you go make a family, you have a couple kids, and then you die. And if you want to do anything else, like you want to play music, you want to, I don't know, build stuff in your garage or work on cars, you do it on your own time, like as a hobby.
Yeah. Wow.
So, man, where was I?
So how did you get from feeling ready to be a welder to photo and video?
Well, the thing was, during my time at college, I've always watched like fitness YouTubers, and that's probably where it clicks for everybody, where it's like, oh, that's where you got it from. But I would watch a bunch of YouTube channels, and eventually, I went through a breakup as well, and I had a lot of spare time. Like I would just go to the gym and go to work, which I worked at a grocery store, and then like I would have nothing else to do all day. So I would just watch YouTube videos, and after a while I got really like, I don't know, you get bored, and I'm like, I need to do something with my time here. And music is quote unquote a waste of my time, so let me go find something to do.
Wow.
During this time, a lot of fitness YouTubers would like do this little meetup thing, and they would go to fitness expos, and a lot of people around this time frame would go to fitness expos to hang out with their favorite YouTubers or like meet them or whatever. And there's this guy. His name was Travis S. If you're listening to this, bro, there's so much to tell about this guy. I cannot even begin to tell you. There's him and this guy Riley DeVoe. He's one of my bestest friends now. They announced on their YouTube channel that they were going to be at the LA Fit Expo, which is in Los Angeles. Travis was from Ohio. Riley was from Canada. And I was like, damn, you guys are going to come all the way here to LA? Like, I should totally go. So I went. And I met them. And it was so weird for me to like see somebody on screen for so long and like talk to them. And they're actually like it felt, I don't know what the word is. Like
surreal almost. Like not real.
Surreal.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, I would say it was kind of a fanboy moment. But they actually
understandably.
They actually like legit talked to me. And, I told Travis and I told Riley about this whole thing. I'm like, yeah, I've always kind of wanted to start one, not expecting this statement. They both were like, yeah, just do it. And I'm like,
yeah. What? See, look, that's what good people say is just do it. That counselor who was like, nah, frick music. Music sucks and your life's going to be I'm paraphrasing, but these guys, look at that. I think that's really cool that you had these guys who you really looked up to just tell you do it.
Yeah, and I fully said that, and I don't think they know this, but I said that without the intention of knowing that statement was coming next. And at first I kind of thought like, oh, well, I can't like let these guys down. Like, they said I should do it. And I mean, I've always kind of really wanted to do it. I have all the spare time. And so, when I came home after that day, I picked up my cell phone and I just started recording YouTube vlogs of like my fitness journey because I didn't really know what else to talk about.
Yeah.
Because then I seen all these other people doing it too, and I was like, cool. If anything, I'll just look back, and it'd be like a cool little video journal. And that's how I started with video.
Wow, that is amazing. So I need to know, first camera. What was it? When was it? What did you buy it, or was it given to you? And if you bought it, how did you get the money together?
So this is perfectly like lining up with the story. I'm so glad that like this is a lot easier than yours. Yours was like we bounced all over the place. It was
Yeah.
fun, but mine is just so easy because I don't like talking about myself.
No, it's cool. It's linear. Easier to follow for sure.
Exactly. So after about I would say a few months of like recording videos and vlogging and stuff, that same guy, Travis says, he watched all my videos, and Riley, they watched all my videos. Even they're still on YouTube. You can go and watch them. Please don't. They're terrible.
I'm totally
But they watched
doing that.
all the videos from the very beginning. And if you watch sorry, that was my chair. If you watch the the first one, it is so terrible. Like there's so many cuts. I don't even sound like me. If you hear me talk and you watch that video, I don't even sound like myself. I was just so nervous. And I did it for a few months, and I thought they were cool videos at the time. And hanging out, I made a few friends with these YouTubers, and I always thought it was cool how like they had like legit cameras, and we would vlog, and they'd walk around. We go to the restaurant, have to put the camera somewhere. They'd go to the bathroom, they have to figure out where to leave their camera. And I'm like, hey, you guys are over here walking around with this ginormous thing, and I got a camera on my cell phone. I'm chilling right now. And eventually Travis hits me up one day, and he's like, hey, what's your address? I'm gonna send you something.
Whoa.
And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what is there to send me? And then he was like, just send me your address. And he heard that I injured myself, like lifting weights. So I thought it was gonna be like some kind of like vitamins or something.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, this guy sent me his camera.
No way.
Yeah, and the camera was a Canon Rebel T3i, and that video of me receiving that camera is on YouTube as well.
No way.
And like I said, it's cool because like you can go back and watch everything, and you can legit see like my reaction and everything unfolding before you.
That is amazing that you have a video of that moment, because I have no doubt that was a monumental moment for you to get that camera.
It changed my life. It was like the first time, besides obviously my parents, where somebody was like, I see something in you, take this and do what you will. Like, kind of like if you insist kind of thing.
Yeah. Wow. So you'd had these videos you were making that weren't very great, and then this person that you looked up to invested in you in a way that prior to that you had not experienced before.
Yep. He just straight up gave me his camera. I was like, dude, I will buy it off. I was a student. I was going to school, and I was working also. I didn't have a ton of money. I wasn't even looking at cameras. I could care less. But I was like, it was just so nice. I was like, bro, can I please buy it off you? And he just refused. He's like, no, keep it. Use it for your videos. You're doing a great job. Just keep it up.
Wow.
And that's what I did.
So what was the first video that you filmed with that camera?
Honestly, dude, I don't even remember.
Wow.
You could see the transition though. You could see the transition from phone to legit camera.
So at this point, was that already a passion of yours that you were really feeling, or did this sort of ignite that passion inside of you?
So here's the thing. Hold on, let me get some water.
Go for it.
So here's
Dude,
the
I
thing.
love that we could hear the water gulp.
That's pretty nasty.
That is awesome. No, actually, I want you to amplify it. I want you to amplify that when this podcast comes out. I think the people need to hear it.
Oh, that's so gross. You know what's really funny is like when we took a break before we went to go record this podcast, I forgot to stop recording, and I went to the bathroom and I left my mic on.
No.
Dude, it was so bad.
Dude.
Not that, but like I was like, was I still recording? Oh damn, I was still recording.
Dude, that is amazing. Yeah, so the question was, did you already have a passion for video, or did this kickstart that passion?
All right, thank you. I totally forgot what it was. I was trying to remember.
I got you covered.
Let's see. So, I've said this to a few people, and making YouTube videos, I never had a goal with it. Like, I never wanted to get a ton of subscribers. And even if you look now, I'm sitting at like 500. Like, I've never wanted a ton of subscribers. I never wanted YouTube money. I never wanted to be YouTube famous. But for some reason, like doing it, it felt right. It felt like it was gonna, I don't want to say lead to something. Yeah. I don't want to make it sound like I was expecting something, but it felt like I was doing something I was supposed to be doing.
No, for sure.
And then with the But when Travis gave me this camera, that was when like I just fell in love and got obsessed with like cameras and gear and like filming and lenses and lights. That was the moment where I was just like, I could care less about YouTube right now. I just want to like, I want to learn everything there is about cameras.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is, you can find that whole thing like on my YouTube, like I said. And eventually, you know, I upgraded cameras, and I even vlogged like some of my, you know, college days when I would be welding and stuff. And I remember, yeah, dude, it's like I'm saying, the whole video journal thing. That's where it comes in clutch. Is I can totally go back and like see, you know, myself welding and going through everything that I went through.
I'm legit watching those videos later.
Please,
I'm for
please
sure. No. Not. I'm not gonna like critique them for quality. I'm just so curious about you welding. To even think that at any point that was just your future in your head blows my mind. It seriously, I did not know that until today, and it blows my mind to hear that story. That is so crazy.
I'm gonna get a text from you after watching all those videos. You're gonna be like, "Yeah, bro, I don't know about this anymore." They're so bad,
bro.
They're so
I
bad.
can guarantee that will not happen. So when did you talked about you started researching cameras? What started clicking when you realized, shoot, I'm doing pretty well at this? When did you gain confidence in kind of the ability and the things that you'd learned from starting to research video work?
Well, there was this guy that Travis used to watch. His name was Zach Kravitz, and I took his filmmaking course. That's later down the line. But that was the first time I saw a vlog, a video that somebody made with like a similar camera be looking like a movie. That was the first time I've ever seen that done, and it just blew my mind. But going back to your question, when that switch kind of flipped for me, I remember I took welding in college for like 3 years. And mind you, I went to school and I was doing welding, and I was trying to be a personal trainer. And like I told you, I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I had 1 foot on personal training, 1 foot on welding. Yeah. Until I was forced to make a decision. And after personal training for a while, it just, you know, it wasn't for me. I love fitness, I love working out, but I just, you know, I prefer to keep it to myself.
Yeah.
And then for welding, I was probably like my 3rd year. I was like probably a few weeks away from getting my certification and, you know, being a welder and whatever.
No way.
A few weeks
You
away.
went that far into this process?
Yeah, dude, I was almost there.
Dude, that is unbelievable to me. So you're 2 weeks away.
Right, and I'm gonna say something on here that nobody's ever heard before. So
okay.
So bear with me here. So 3rd year welding, and in every single class I took in college, even welding or not, like general ed, whatever, I always felt like I just didn't fit in. Like something was wrong. Like somebody could walk into that welding class and see the emo kid in the back and be like, "Who the hell is this guy? Who does this guy think he is? Not a welder." And everybody in there, like, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, bash on anybody, but you know, they got the boots, they got the flannels, they look
like welders.
They look like welders, yeah. And you get this guy in the back, and you're like,
you got the skater punk kid who played guitar at lunch in high school. I can totally picture what you're talking about. Yeah.
It felt just, it felt so gross, honestly. And I remember like my 3rd year, like it was pretty easy by that point. I could just, you know, I knew what to do. And, you know, by that point you just have projects and you could just literally take your time and do what you want.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just wait until the test day comes. And you just take the test, boom, 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 you're done. Here's your certification. Go and do whatever you want.
No, for sure.
But during my 3rd year, I remember it would like, I would get this like really dark, heavy feeling. And for some reason, I don't know what it is. And you know, some people might think I don't know what the word is. I'm weak or whatever, but I would like legit go to the bathroom and just sit there for an hour and a half, however long class was, because I just couldn't do it. Something about it was like, I felt like I had to do something else. Like I would legit sometimes just like sit there and just like hold back from like crying the whole time because
you knew it wasn't right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It felt super weird, and it feels super weird to say.
No, I think that's real, man. I think that's real. I think when you probably felt a little stuck too at that point, being so close to to the end that, feeling like you're in the wrong place, I can imagine that was pretty difficult.
Exactly. It didn't feel like damn, I'm almost there. This is the end. This is the definition of life. It's like you go to work, you get your college degree, you get your job, and like this is it. This can't be the end of the road right here. There has to be more to this.
Yeah. And so how did you piece that together to being video and photo?
Yeah, so like I said, throughout the whole time, I vlogged everything, and I was always creating videos on the back end.
Yeah.
And I was working at this store for probably like 6 years or so, because I was going to school and it was super flexible. And my girlfriend's dad actually offered me a job at his work, and I would be making obviously more money. It was a sales job. I would be working a 9 to 5 in Livermore. And I was like, yo, this is tight. I get to make more money, and this fits the puzzle piece, or the mold around the ideal quote unquote father figure. You get a good job, whatever. This would be it. This is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I took the job, and little did I know it would be like all my time. Like it'd take an hour to drive to Livermore, it takes an hour to drive back in traffic.
L-Town represents.
And that's where we met. That's where the story ends.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about ends. Hopefully the story's still going.
But yeah, I went to go do. Am I going too fast here?
No, you're good.
Okay, I don't even know. It's like I told you, I don't really talk about myself a lot, so it feels really weird.
Dude, I mean, you're genuinely, I'm so interested right now, and that's not me saying that because I'm co-hosting this with you. I genuinely knew dang near none of this, and I'm so curious how this all connects and where the story goes. So please continue. You're doing great.
I appreciate that. To everybody listening, thank you. I appreciate you too. So, so I took that job, and when I realized it was going to take up all my time, and I was like, hey, so I'm either going to have to not go to school, or I'm going to have to not make YouTube videos anymore. Like I have to pick one, because I'm not going to be able to do both. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep making videos. Like, I'm like almost at the end of my welding thing. Like I could pick it up next semester and finish it.
Yeah.
And within that, when I was doing that, that's when I realized, I don't want to be a welder. Like I'm just going to do this sales thing and work my way up the corporate ladder and get that salary everybody's dreaming about, whatever. But once I started getting to settle into that job too, I kind of felt once again off.
Yeah.
And then I remember there was a friend back when I did YouTube, and I worked at the store. I had a friend that was like, hey man, I know you make videos. I watch your YouTube videos. He was a coworker. He was like, I'm going to be auditioning for American Ninja Warrior. Would you mind making my video? And I was so confused, because I was like, why do you want me to make your video? Like, I barely know how to film myself. But anyways, long story short, I did it, and he wanted to pay me and stuff. And I was like, no, we'll just do it. That was the moment where I had that little itch where I had filmed for somebody else and I was directing, and I liked it more than filming myself and making my own YouTube videos, but I never said anything. I kind of you know what I mean? I saw it and I was like,
kept it to
should
yourself.
I go explore that? Exactly. I never explored it.
Wow. That's crazy. So it was just a buddy asking for some help that kind of you noticed a spark.
Yep, and that was the spark, exactly. That's the correct terminology to use there. That's where I noticed a spark. And when I was working that job in Livermore, I started to get people hit me up, and they're like, hey man, can you do this video for me? I saw this. Hey man, can you do this video for me? I saw this. Can you take photos? And I was like, yeah, dude, totally. I would do it on my off days, and I would end up making, even more income, which is cool. And I get to do something I like.
Yeah.
The more I kept filming for other clients, I would call them, the more I realized that I really like this video thing. Like I would go to work and I would just dream of every second I'm home working on a project, paid or not. That's what I thought about all day, every day. And so for that year that I was working my 9 to 5, I committed all my free time to making videos, usually of client stuff, paid or not. I would just commit to getting as good as I can. And I liked it so much that I just wanted to keep making videos for other people and make a business out of it. So for that year, I just put my head down, spent all my time if I wasn't filming or shooting or editing, I was like watching YouTube videos of like how to light better, how to edit better, how to do this effect, how to do that effect.
Wow.
And then almost a year to the day, I quit my 9 to 5, and then I started doing this full time. And I think I met you shortly after.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, with the way you carried yourself in that meeting, you're blowing my mind that this story where you just left off leads right into that. I would have thought, A, with your professionalism in like the way you carried the conversation, and B, with the professionalism in your art and your craft, that you'd been doing this so much longer.
Now it's probably like 2-ish years. And so when, I think we'll save this for another video or another podcast, but
Okay.
I remember you reached out to me because you saw UFN's video I did.
Yes.
So I filmed that, and that was the week after I left my 9 to 5.
Wow.
Yeah, so I met you like shortly after.
That is unbelievable that it was that soon to me. So how does doing a music video with either me or UFN, or I don't know how many music videos you've done if you have other clients as well, but how does doing a music video compare to doing, most of the videos I see from you are things like gym videos, people working out, or it's your buddy hitting a punching bag and things like that. How does that compare to you, A, in the way you execute, but also in terms of like for you, how it feels to do both projects? Like, where would you say in terms of passion for videography you feel in those different situations?
Honestly, the video, obviously the video stuff, but the music stuff is like what kind of drives me, because even though I had my dream squashed, or whatever you want to say about, when I was in high school,
Yeah.
it still kind of scratches that itch.
Yeah.
Of like making music videos. And since I played on stage a lot, and then I used to be in bands and stuff, I always envisioned like these music videos, and for me to like see somebody light up when they talk about their music, it like makes me light up, and I'm like, I see what you're saying, I see what you're trying to say with this song, like let me take it and let me make it reality, and let me make it something you could actually see.
That's awesome. So how did you go from, was it pretty natural for you to go from just a guy who was gifted a camera to a guy who's shooting videos for companies, shooting videos for people with blogs, for Instagram influencers? Like, how did you make that jump in the way you did? Like, how did you get from the point where people started knowing, oh, I could reach out to this guy and he can make me something dope?
Ah, dang. I can't believe I completely left this out. Actually, like a little bit before I left my 9 to 5, there was this podcast I used to listen to, and they were doing a live event in San Jose, and I just straight up DM'd them, and I was like, hey, like if you guys want a photographer, videographer, just let me know, and I'm totally there. Like, I'm not trying to charge you. I just think it'd be cool. So I showed up, and I took way more photos than they thought, and they loved them.
Wow.
So they said, hey, like we really like you. How would you like to be a part of our live event series we're doing? And every month they would fly out to another state and, do a live podcast there. And I was totally on board. I was like, hell yeah. Like I look up to these guys.
Amazing
I love this podcast.
opportunity.
So that put it into, they had another videographer there that was full-time as well. And to see this guy doing it, it just like changed my perspective of like, oh, this guy, he's younger than me, number one. This is real. Like I can make videos, I can shoot photos for a living. Like this guy is right in front of me. He's doing it.
Wow.
Who's to say I can't? And me flying to different states, different cities every month while I was working my 9 to 5, it like gave me a little taste of what that was like. And I don't know what it was. When I came back from any of those trips, I just felt like different. Like every time I'd fly out, I would be like Christian, the photographer, videographer. And I'd come back in Livermore and be like the sales guy. And
Gotcha.
I just wanted more of that. I felt like that identity was me. And that's kind of what gave me the itch to be like wanting to do this for a living. And, I never thought it'd be possible to do what you love for a living, but just seeing somebody do it in front of me and he's like a real person, it just changed my perspective. And then my friend Riley, shortly after that, I flew to visit him in Canada, and I was still working my 9 to 5 at that time.
Yeah.
I flew to visit him in Canada, and he was a business owner also. He owned a clothing company called Trinity for Change. And
Okay.
he was like, so you really like this video stuff, huh? And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, thank you for helping me start a channel. Like, you know, you're a great friend, whatever. And then I said something like, I wish I could be out here longer than 2 days, but I got to go back to work and whatever. And then he was like, you know what, if you really like this video stuff, why don't you just, you know, make it your job? And then, you know, while you're in Canada here with me, you could have other clients and be like, hey, I'm in Canada, you guys want some shoots or stuff, you know, hit me up, and you can kind of make your own schedule. And Riley being a business owner, it put it in that perspective for me again of like, here's this person that's like, he does it in real life. He's a real person. He's in front of me. He's not some kind of like Elon Musk that's not touchable. This guy is in front of me. We have the similar likes. We have a similar background, similar taste in music. He's over here doing it. So why can't I do it?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how it happened for me.
That's one of those voices. I mean, it's really cool to see. You know, I talked about in episode 1 all these voices that wore me down, and then how I had the voices of friends, family, and fans that got me to where I am today. And for you, it's the same exact path that was paved for you, to go from sitting across a counselor who looks you in the eyes and says your dream sucks, to then another counselor who doesn't go as far as saying your dream sucks, but says your dream's unrealistic. And then you go, you know what I mean? There's this clear path where the voices around us really do impact us so much. And I think it's really cool to see that true in both of our stories. But how did word of mouth get out about you to all of these other people now who you call your clients? So you went from, you had this, you know, you talked about the podcast that you shot for while they were doing their tour or whatever. You talked about now you went to this guy in Canada. How did you get in contact with these gyms that use your videos, with places like, I've seen you do videos for Panama, the coffee place. I've seen you do videos for, you know, so many different people. How did they get to know about you?
Well, that kind of all came about, like the actual, like the major business stuff all came about from that podcast.
Gotcha.
They were like, oh, we saw you working with this guy. And like all those connections I made in all those different states, like they remembered me. And, you know, they would be like, hey man, like, I seen you work with this podcast. Like, how much would you charge me to, you know, film something similar? And I even like before I started doing this, I was like, are you kidding me, bro? I follow you on Instagram. Like, I'll totally do it for free.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously as a business owner, you have to learn where to draw those boundaries.
Yeah.
But that was honestly all where it started. You know, I worked with them. Somebody that worked with them as well saw me, and they gave me a 6-month contract, which that kind of helped me like jumpstart my journey from working in 9 to 5 to going full-time filmmaking. Cause I'm like, oh cool, I got this 2-month contract. And with this 2-month contract, I'm going to be making what I did at my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be doing that in 4 days.
And with a contract, there's a similar level of consistency in payment and in workload, right? I mean, it's not the same as a 9 to 5, but in terms of a lot of people, when you make the jump from a 9 to 5 to something creative like music or like art, your finances aren't as stable anymore. You don't know when the next paycheck comes. It all depends on if you can find work. So to have a contract like that probably gave a little bit of stability too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was like, give or take, like with after taxes, it was a little bit less than what I was making at my 9 to 5, but like it was enough to get me to be like, all I need is one client.
Yeah.
With this contract, I need this one client, and then I can pay my bills. And like, if I can just pay my bills doing what I love, I'm happy. I'm not trying to drive a Ferrari or like have, you know, $1 million gold change. I just want to pay bills. Wow. So that's, having that contract really gave me that confidence to be able to make the jump. And through that podcast, I met this one guy. He knows who he is. He kind of gave me my start as well. He was like, hey man, you want to come shoot videos and, you know, we can hang out and stuff. And it's really hard as a business owner, especially in this sort of situation, to draw the line between business and friends. Kind of like with me and you. Like when we met, it was super hard for me to like let go, to be like, okay, I'm either gonna let this guy be my friend or I'm gonna like let him be a client. Because once you go there, there's no going back.
Yeah.
It feels weird taking payment. It feels weird talking about contracts, whatever. But this guy, he was super cool about it. And I worked with him, and you know, a lot of people saw his videos, a lot of people. And I thank him to this day. he gave me the knowledge and the wisdom and the opportunity to have the confidence to do this full time, because before I got that contract, the podcast that I worked with, when I worked with him, a ton of people saw my videos and they would ask me to come shoot them and edit them and stuff. And this podcast I worked with before, that, you know, they paid for my flight, they paid for my food, they paid for everything. So for me, it was like a dream come true.
Yeah, no kidding.
At the end of the whole tour, they offered me a job working with them full time.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't right. The financial side, I'm not trying to sound like I'm all about money, but it just wasn't right.
Yeah.
The workload, the money, it just was not right. So I talked to my friend about it, and he kind of was like, what do you feel in your gut? And I was like, this doesn't feel right, but it's what I really want to do for a living. And he was like, you know what, Christian, I think you should like look at the situation from a bird's eye view. In a few months, you're going to be doing what you love, but in a few months, you're going to be struggling, trying to pay your bills and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't just want to be one person's guy. You want to do music videos. You want to do all these other creative things. With this, you're going to be kind of locked down. So he got me to change my perspective. If it wasn't for him and my girlfriend at the time, I totally would have taken the opportunity.
Wow. So
through Danny, I met all these other fitness influencers and gyms and people that reached out to me, and
that's amazing.
A lot of what's kept my business afloat. So I thank that guy every day.
Wow. That's an amazing story. That is an amazing story, because once again, it's a voice that in that instance supported your dream, but also gave you the realness too. You know what I mean? That's really cool. We've talked a lot about your origin. I want to know, and this maybe you're probably not prepared for this question at all, because this is called Origin Story. I want to talk future with you. What are some of your dreams and aspirations as a videographer? And what are some places that you either see yourself going in the future, or you really, really hope to see yourself go in the future with your art?
Really glad you asked this question. I honestly wasn't really seeing it coming, because I was just kind of like, you know, flying by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm in a position where, you know, during the whole COVID thing, it kind of put everything in perspective for me. And I kind of saw that, I kind of knew this starting a business, but especially after the whole COVID thing, it taught a lot of us that nothing is guaranteed. You can go work a 9 to 5. You can go, and not to throw shame at it, but, you know, you can have that quote unquote consistent paycheck, but you never know when you know, the poop is going to hit the fan, and then you don't have you don't have a paycheck anymore. I had a really bad, not habit, but I sort of put all my eggs in one basket, is what I was trying to say, before COVID. And then when COVID dropped, it was like, you know, my biggest client fell through. That was like, you know, 80% of my income.
Oh, wow.
So, and you know, like I said, I'm just trying to pay bills over here. I'm not trying to buy a Lamborghini. So in the future, and in the present, this is what's going on. I have a lot of things in place, a lot of eggs in different baskets that kind of allow me to be a lot more picky with the shoots I do. And I don't have to kind of scramble. So the stuff I'm working on is something that I really want to work on.
Yeah.
Like music videos with you, like storytelling, like all that stuff is, you know, is us hanging out and us, you know, creating a story. All that stuff is ultimately what makes me excited about doing this and continuing to do this. I love all the fitness stuff. I love all the other stuff I do, but you know, this is kind of like deep rooted in me, the whole music thing. So in the future, you know, I definitely, of course, love to shoot more music videos, a movie perhaps. I would love to work on a script.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And, you know, just bigger production stuff. Because I have the liberty to be a little more selective, I'm putting a lot more time and effort into figuring out how to make this work, like film music videos for Machine Gun Kelly or Blink 182 or anything like that. That's ultimately what I want to do, and figuring it out is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know that, hanging out with me, like a lot of the stuff we do, I kind of just figure it out. I say, oh yeah, man, I got it. Yeah, I got this. And then I kind of just figure it out.
It's funny though, because you say that the way you carry yourself and the quality that you deliver every time, I never know until you tell me after the fact when you're like, dude, I had no idea how that was gonna go, but it totally worked out. Like, even we're recording this the day that Bulletproof Umbrella releases. With that shoot, and we'll talk about it more in another video, but that shoot was this whole thing where stuff kept going wrong, and then I was like, dude, we might have to do this another day, and you're like, no, I got this. And then you just told me like days ago, like, dude, I did not got that. You're like, I was so worried how this was gonna turn out. I find it's so funny and so also just impressive as frick, man, how dang talented you are, that you flying by the seat of your pants with a camera in your hand is most people's best day. And like, I don't say that, you talked about last episode, you weren't saying things to toot my horn because I was doing the podcast with you. I'm not saying this to butter you up or to like make people watch this feel more impressed with you or to, whatever. I'm saying this because it's genuinely true. Like, the videos we've done, there's thought that goes into them. There's plenty that goes into them. There's work that goes into it before the camera ever starts recording. But so much of what we did do with our videos is stuff that you or I comes up with spontaneously, which means you're running off the seam of your pants. You're running spontaneously doing something. And when you see it executed and the way that you edit it, the way you film it, the way you bring your vision into it, you would never guess that it wasn't always the plan. And I think that takes a genuine visionary and artist to be able to pull off.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. A lot of the time it's like, a lot of us that quote unquote own a business, and like I said, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but a lot of it is like you just kind of figure it out. I didn't know what I was doing either. I was like, hey, well, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 and I'm going to figure this thing out. Yeah, I have kind of a steady form of income here, but it's not necessarily enough to make ends meet. But a lot of it is just figuring it out. You're just kind of jumping out of the plane and then figuring out how to make a parachute on the way down. And that's what this whole thing feels like, with trying to figure out movies and trying to figure out the equipment they use and how they light things and keep things low budget and write a script. It's kind of exciting all over again. Yeah. I felt like I hit a point where I was like, okay, cool. I know how to make these Instagram videos. I know how to make these video tutorials for businesses, but I want to do something bigger and I have no idea where to even begin. And a lot of the times you just got to start, just like with this podcast.
Yeah.
You just got to point your finger and just start walking that direction and you'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah. Wow, man, I feel inspired hearing you talk right now. I feel like I need to go do something, man. And I honestly, to everyone who's listened to now both episodes of this podcast, if there's any moral to the two stories we've heard, it's that there's so much merit to being willing to suck at something. Wouldn't you agree, Christian?
I would. You got to embrace the suck.
Yeah, for sure. You got to be willing to fail. And even listening to both our stories, the voices who were very quick to tell us that we'd failed, or very quick to tell us that, we would end in failure. And, maybe some of those same people would say that I've failed musically. Maybe those some people would say this Christian guy's kidding himself, who knows? But also, who gives a flying frick? Because I just heard you talk about a deep passion of yours for, how long has this been? How long has this call been?
Probably an hour.
Dang near an hour. And you hate talking about yourself, but dude, your passion is so evident, and you would have never known if you didn't take a jump and just do the thing. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I just, a lot of it is just rooted into what we think is normal, but when you surround yourself with like people that are doing different things, like you're writing books and you're writing movie scripts and you're writing all this weird music, once you change that in your mind of like what is normal, what is achievable, it just completely changes what you can do. Now it just like, when we wanted to start this podcast, I told my girlfriend, I was like, I don't really know how I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to kind of like do it just how I've done everything else. Like when we started recording, when I was looking up, or when you were looking up how to even get this thing on Spotify, it's a lot of it just, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
We got to get that guy on the podcast.
Yeah, we got to get him. Shia LaBeouf, you interested? Hit us up. I'd love to just talk to Shia LaBeouf. That's a very deep tangent. The other thing I really appreciate, Christian, is something, again, we've both talked about, is that the future is like a very unknown thing, where we go next, what we do next, where we've gone influences where we're going. And I love that, just as much as we talk about getting to where you're at takes just doing it. Continuing to go further requires the same thing. The way you talked about, you have these goals, these things you want to tackle, and it feels like you're at the start again in a certain way when you're starting to tackle different ways to use your art that are bigger, that are better than before, that are going to jump in quality, jump in scale, all of those things. I think it's really cool that even this far along into this project, into this work that's become a passion of yours, that you're still also that kid with the camera figuring out what the heck to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I say that. People are like, dude, how do you just, and I'm not, again, trying to toot my own horn here.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people are like, dude, how do you just do this? And I'm just like, I swear, like 99% of the time, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah. You just jump in and do it. And I think that's really cool.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Well, I think that's a great place to end this episode. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. We've talked for about an hour, not including the one we did before, but nobody needs to know that.
No one needs to know that. I mean, now they all do, but they don't need to know.
Nah, just pretend you didn't hear that. Go watch Bulletproof Umbrella.
You didn't see anything. Which actually they probably didn't, because this is a podcast.
That's true. That's not to say in the future, we might include a little bit of a video elements in there. We do have a videographer here, so that's just a possibility.
Very true. Hey, really quick to address those of you who stuck around, thank you so much for watching this far into another video. Maybe this is your first video, so I shouldn't say another. Thank you for watching this long. In the comments, if you got this far, first of all, let us know, yo, I got this far. But second of all, follow that up with ways you think we could do this better. We're just starting out. This is our first time, so let us know in the comments. Hey, we'd love to be able to see you guys talk, and we can try and find a way to do that. Just any suggestions you have, any topics maybe that you'd love for us to cover, or bands that you'd love for us to talk about. We'd love to tackle a little bit of what you guys are interested too, I think. So let us know in the comments what you'd like to see us do in the future. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll say frick you and we won't. You never know.
You never know. And I mean, it can go either way. We really don't even have a general idea of how this thing is going to work. All we know is Daniel is, he's an artist. I'm an artist. We're an artist in different fields, but they all sort of come together. But, we also just like to get some hangs in and talk for an hour because, that's what we do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all right, everybody. Christian, where can we find some of your work?
Well, let's see. You can find some of my work on this here podcast right here because,
there you go.
We're producing this thing.
Pretty rad.
And we can find some of my work on my Instagram at Christian is caffeinated, which is true about 98% of the time. 2% of the time I'm sleeping.
I can confirm this as someone who's, I'm not even around you like all the time, but I'm pretty sure I've seen you either with coffee or with something in your hand that's caffeinated dang near every time I've ever seen you. So I can confirm that.
I got to live up to the name, bro. I got to live up to the name.
For sure.
And then also my website, you can check out mercury7media.com to see what I got going on. Check out check out Daniel's page. Daniel's got a bunch of my videos on there too. Check out UFN until further notice. That was the first music video I've ever done. And hopefully soon we can get him on the pod or something.
Yeah, hopefully very soon. Luckily I have an in with them, so maybe I can get in contact.
Yeah, you might need to talk to their manager about that.
Maybe
that would be pretty dope.
We'll see if
that would be pretty dope.
We'll
I heard you were their drummer.
I was once, and I heard that it was really cool. There was this videographer there when I drummed for them. That was pretty dang talented, if I do say so myself.
Oh, dude, we're just going back and forth.
I could do this all day.
I try to end it with a compliment to you, but you ended it with a compliment to me.
I could do this all day, Christian. All freaking
Don't
day.
test me. Don't test me, bro.
Oh, man. Well, hey, Bulletproof Umbrella is out by the time this released. So that's me and Christian's most recent piece of work together. Make sure to go check that out at
go check it out.
Music by Daniel Sherman on YouTube or Music by Daniel Sherman on Instagram. It'll be on both those places. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video.
All right, peace.
Wait, Christian. Tell me to cue the sound. The trumpet sound. Tell me to cue it.